Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? We are on another episode of Love is Blind season 7. We are now on episode 3 and is it called Is It Too Late? But as I always ask, before we get into this episode, please can you hit that subscribe button, please can you hit that notification button so we know when I do videos. Please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, because you lot know I am on the road to 1k. Okay, so let's get into this episode, because I'm gonna have to say I was on tenterhooks for this episode, because the last episode traumatized me so much, and it just keeps playing in my head every time I see Monica and Stephen. That whole conversation keeps playing in my head, and it's the fact that she saw nothing wrong with he was saying, like, absolutely nothing wrong. And I'm thinking to myself, are you that desperate for a man? It's not a case of, oh, I want a man in my life, yeah, because something's missing. It's a case of, for Monica, I need a man in my life. I need this. I'm 36 and I've just been doing it all wrong. Now, any person that comes along that shows me a little bit of mindfulness, you know, the bare minimum, I'ma take it. Oh God, I hope it works out for her, but I don't think it will, because there's something about Stephen. Yeah, there's something about Stephen that it's just not gelling for me. I just don't like. So we lift off with Taylor and Garrett meeting, and I was like, okay, it was an okay meeting. It kind of looked slow. There wasn't necessarily full on excitement that I could see, to be honest with you. When they got to one another, they did kiss, and the kiss kind of did say it all when they did kiss, because it was rather a good kiss that they had. Then when they pulled apart, it was kind of awkward, but I think they're both kind of awkward people at times, and it definitely showed. So Taylor gets her ring, but I don't know. It was okay. Garrett constantly would not stop touching her, would not stop kissing her, and I was like, give the woman some breathing space. She's just met you. You both are a bag of nerves, but I'm sure, yeah, even though she's kissing you back, even though Taylor is kissing Garrett back and giving him as good as she gets, yeah, that she like a little bit of breathing space. Do you know what I mean? To process what has just happened, but he ain't giving her that breathing space. I felt there were times where Taylor did hold herself back, to be honest with you. So it goes back to the men's quarters, and you see Bodan and Ramesses talking. And Ramesses, I think, is trying to figure out who Bodan is talking to as well. So they come to the list of the women, and he says, I only have one as my number one spot. And Bodan says, I have one as my number one spot. So Ramesses is kind of like, okay, does your number one spot begin with the letter M? And then when Bodan was saying, yeah, Ramesses was like, oh my God. And I don't think Bodan believed Ramesses at first that they were dating the same person, but they honestly are. The one thing that I can say about Marissa is she's straightforward and honest, and that's what I liked about her. Basically, she didn't beat around the bush. When she made a decision, she let the other guy know what decision it was that she was going to make at the end of the day. So Bodan and Marissa do have a date, and Bodan does let it slip that, you know, he knows who Marissa is dating as well. And basically Bodan is letting her know that him and Ramesses are friends, and Marissa was kind of a little bit cheeky, because she says, you know, telling Bodan, as long as you two don't do that back off chat, and you know, if you like the same woman, I'm gonna step back. And Bodan was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But it was a little bit cheeky of Marissa to say that, because at the end of the day, if they're going to do that, they're going to do that. And they're going to do that away from you, basically. They're going to do that in the men's quarters. But these two, Ramesses and Bodan, are kind of competitive with each other anyway. And they both want the same girl. So I don't see either one of them two stepping back in the slightest. So to do a little question and answer game. And basically, Marissa and Bodan were asking each other, if your parents were to give either one of them advice on dating either one of them, basically, what would they say? My thing is would you really be honest about it though? Would you really highlight your flaws in terms of what your parent may tell the other person to watch out for when they're dating you? Or will it just be all sunshine and light? So I think both of them, to be fair, gave the standard answers that you would give. They didn't really delve all that deep. So Bodan did ask Marissa how many times she'd been in love. That girl needed to take some time. She needed to take a beat, like a whole beat, to even think about how many times she'd actively been in love. When in actuality, she turned around, she said she'd only really well and truly been in love with one person. That's what she said, even though she was a little bit cagey. But I didn't realize as well that Bodan was married previously, the same that Ramesses was Ramses. Is it Ramses or Ramesses? Either way, Ramses was married to. And I thought, okay, Marissa has a type. She likes to go for men that have already been married, basically. And as I said in my last episode, if you've been married before, does it give you that bit of an advantage because you've been through that process? You know what it is to try and make a marriage work. So you being in this process again in order to have the end goal, which is to be married to someone, they already know that you are a committed type of person at the end of the day. So Marissa and Bodan do have a lot of similarities, yeah, but I'm just kind of like, usually it's that old saying, opposites attract. So I'm kind of thinking how it's going to work out for them to, if she decides to pick Bodan to go forward, because they are way too similar, like way too similar in their interests and everything. So after Bodan leaves, Marissa and Ramesses Ramesses. I keep saying Ramesses because I'm thinking of the Egyptian gods, you know. Ramses basically have a date, and Ramses does let out to Marissa that, you know, he got very much in his head when he found out that Bodan was the other person that, you know, she was dating. But he's got to a point where all he wants to do right now is focus on Marissa. So basically he wanted to have some validation from her and hear from her basically how she felt about him. I think the conversations that Marissa and Ramses do have is more adult than it is with Bodan and Marissa. Bodan and Marissa are quite fun and flirty, and, you know, it's kind of like a best friend type of vibe rather than I'm really attracted to you and want to get to know you further vibe. I want to get deep and uncover levels type of vibe. I'm not getting that vibe between Marissa and Bodan. I'm getting that vibe more between Marissa and Ramses at the end of the day. So they talked about children, and Marissa was explaining the fact that she doesn't believe if they had children, she would be a stay-at-home mom, basically, because she knows that she will get to a point where she would literally need to do something. So because she is literally going into the legal world and how that's going to work for her, she would need at least her partner, if they didn't mind, to be able to stay home with the children, which Ramses says he didn't mind because the work that he's kind of looking at and going into, it's going to be more entailing him working from home. So to be fair, Ramses thought that's fine because Ramses doesn't, as you know, what's the word? It's not aspire. Doesn't go down that realm of, you know, gender specific roles. At the end of the day, he's quite open and fluid in that sense. So you see Tim and Alex have a date, and again they go with all the bragging stuff. I really don't see these two gelling that much. The two jokey with each other as well. Tim does talk about Alex and says that he believes that she's a very strong-willed woman because his mother's always told him that he needs to have a strong woman in order to hold him down, because basically he akins himself to a dog, which ain't good in my books. It's not good in terms of describing yourself. Yes, you want to be honest with the partner that you're with, but then if you're calling yourself a dog, why are you a dogging? Because you know what, dogs are quite loyal. If you think about it, dogs are quite loyal. So I'm wondering, in what terminology does Tim mean that he is a dog? So he basically said that he needs someone that will bite back and not just lay over and let him walk all over them, sort of thing. It's just like, Alex Alex is basically saying that she's not that type of person, that she will, if she sees something that she don't like, she will make sure he's aware of it and knows it. And you can kind of see that as the episode goes on, that, you know, Alex literally bounces off him and doesn't let him get the upper hand in their conversations. Although Tim, I believe, likes the sound of his own voice, because that man can chat for days. And another person that can chat for days is freaking Tyler. That man can wax poetic about every damn thing. And I'm like, is there a time that, you know what, silence is golden and you just sit in your silence and be comfortable with each other? Because from when you can do that, then you know you're onto a good thing. From when you can be silent with your partner and it be comfortable and you not have to fill that space with chatter, then you know you're onto a good thing. But with Tyler, also with Tim, they're just, it's just, it gets to a point of annoying. Like, they literally always constantly have to fill a space. So basically Ashley is saying that she feels safe with Tyler. Tyler does get emotional, and I do love to see my black women show their softer sides, especially when it comes to TV. But it would be in the hopes that once they open that door in terms of showing a bit of vulnerability, it doesn't get slap bang smack straight back in your face, because that's what usually tends to happen and we end up shutting down. So Tyler basically says that he does love Ashley and he appreciates her and that he truly loves her, and this is the most connected he's been with anyone. And he asked her to stand up, and I thought, oh, that's quick. They weren't dressed up like you would normally do when it comes to it, because you usually can tell when they're about to, you know, propose. But he proposes. Ashley A says yes. So we have another couple, Tyler and Ashley A. So we go back to Hannah, and she's sitting in the women's lounge and she's talking about, the two guys she's talking to. It's at this point that I'm kind of realising that Hannah is stringing Nick D along a little bit. I honestly believe that the only reason why she recalled Nick D to give him another chance is because she didn't like the way things were going with Leo. It's because she found out that Leo and Brittany were talking to each other, and as time went on in this episode, Leo is a freaking dickhead of epic freaking proportion. So Nick, as I've already said, is the backup plan. So Hannah was moaning about how healthy Nick was and how healthy Leo appears to be when she talks to them. And basically she was thinking, well, maybe I should tell them that, you know what, I've lost 40 pounds, you know what I mean? And this is what I mean about the emotional maturity of Hannah. I don't think she's very insightful into the certain behaviours that she portrays and does. So basically Hannah says to Brittany that she knows who she's dating now, and she kind of did wonder, but she's glad that it's out, basically. So Brittany has kind of enfolded herself into the gang of women that I don't necessarily like, and that's with Ashley W and Katie. The dynamic with them two, and then when you involved Hannah in it, I just didn't necessarily like. They just rubbed me the wrong way, I ain't gonna lie on that one. So here goes Leo. He's chatting his biz in the men's lounge to another guy in the men's lounge. I can't remember what his name is. And this is why I'm saying Leo is not a genuine person at all. And I don't think he feels anything for Hannah or Brittany. He is just playing a spiel. I really think all this man wanted was airtime in regards to, like, you know, airing out his business and the fact that he has money to the masses, basically, to make him more popular, probably when he gets out and up on social media. At the end of the day, that's how I'm seeing it with Leo. So he starts telling this man. So this dude understood why things ended with Hannah when he was having his date. So Leo jumps in and says, oh yeah, because, you know, being logical. But then the guy cuts him off and turns around and says, no, you're getting the wrong end of the stick. I didn't dump Hannah, Hannah dumps me. And Leo's face was a freaking picture because he didn't know what else to say. Because I'm like, yeah, because you were going to chat your shit as you normally do about Hannah. But then when you get in there, try and wax poetic to her like you love the girl when you absolutely don't. So Leo then quickly diverts and says, but Hannah was never your number one. And basically this guy actually says, well, she was. And all I kept on thinking, this man, Leo, is looking for ways in which to speak bad about Hannah so he can make his pick a lot more easier in regards to when it comes to Brittany. So Leo is basically wanting information on Hannah. So this guy tells him that Hannah is 5'9". He was 5'8". And he told Hannah that her being that little bit taller than him was fine by him. And he basically said that Hannah cut him off. Right, Hannah has a hang up with height. She does have a hang up with height, and she likes the man to at least be a little bit taller than what she is, because she's a quite tall girl, yeah. But I really don't think it just came down to the height that Hannah cut this dude off for. I think there was more of a story to tell, but you know, he isn't going to tell Leo all of that at the end of the day. So I don't know if he was indicating that Hannah's not a very nice girl and can be quite superficial because she don't date short guys. I just think that whole conversation between Leo and this guy was very confusing. I don't know what the end goal was for Leo at that point, to be honest with you. So we go back to Brittany, and Brittany's talking about how she's sick to her stomach. So Brittany is finding it difficult that she has been stripped of her power by Leo, basically, and it's all getting too much for her. And she's talking about how she can't seduce them how she wants to. So basically she's saying that other guys that she dated had a certain status, right? And as she was dating them, it was well known that they were dating other women, other amazing, beautiful women too. But in this experiment, basically, she's saying it's starting to bring out that trauma of not being the only one for one guy. I don't want to downplay her situation. I really don't want to downplay Brittany's situation, but it sounds to me that when she dated these men of means, there was unspoken or unwritten rules and ways of conduct that you dealt with yourself. You would have already had an idea that you would not be the only one setting sights on this dude at the end of the day. And if he's got surplus money, surplus finances, then he's going to be able to spread that about a little bit more, because they're the type of men who aren't necessarily looking to settle down. They're looking to have many conquests at the end of the day. For you to get one of those men is going to be fucking difficult, and you're going to have to keep sticking it out. But at the end of the day, that's the type of lifestyle that Brittany actually wanted, because, as she said, she is a trophy wife. So you have to pull with the punches when it comes to looking for a guy of means to be able to be your cash cow at the end of the day. She wants a man to finance her. So you got to take the ugly with the smooth. It's only going to come down to you and your self-preservation and your self-worth as to say, am I going to keep taking this just to get to what I want? Or am I going to try and find something else with someone else that's a little bit more real? But hey ho. So Leo and Brittany have a talk, and Leo starts off straight away about talking about like how last night was really hard and he was torn up, that he couldn't give Brittany what she wanted, and Brittany just basically wanted him to tell her, who is it that you want? Because I think Brittany was getting to the point where she was absolutely done with this bullshit. So there was the longest pause, and Brittany had to ask him, are you making a decision now? And he said no. I'm telling you, Leo loves the situation that he has going on with these two women. Leo believes that he is a hot commodity, when in actuality he's a spineless little prick who loves to play with women's emotions. That's who Leo is. So Brittany basically rolls her eyes hard, and as she rolled her eyes hard, trust me, I rolled them along with her, because I was like, how long How long are you gonna sit there going back and forth with this man? Like, seriously, how long is Brittany and also Hannah gonna sit there going back and forth with this man? So Leo says that he's split and he's trying to clarify what a future looks like, and he can't. So Brittany bites back, and I was like, at last, show your damn frustration, because you and Hannah have literally been letting this man slide all over you, slip and slide all over you with his rubbish, and not pull him to task in terms of his lack of decision making. So she says, right now, you are not giving me emotional security. And my thing is if Leo is not making Brittany feel secure in any way, shape or form, I don't understand why she is asking for a decision and basically taking that decision, not taking that decision from him in terms of walking, because you have to know your level of self-worth to know how much rubbish you're literally going to keep going through. And she's going to go through it to the end. This girl is like seriously going to go through it to the end. I can just see it. So Brittany says that she's trying to be rational. Right now, I think rationality is literally seeping out of that window for Brittany. She's got to the point where she's kind of having enough right now. So she told him that he needs to realize that decision that he's making is not completely his own, and she could actually turn around and say, do you know what? No, I've had enough. I'm going to get up and leave. So Leo literally was like, because he actually did not realize that, you know what, don't think you're holding all the cards. But my thing with Brittany is that is just lip service. She knows she ain't going nowhere, and Leo knows she ain't going nowhere. She is trying to call Leo's bluff. But does it work? No, it doesn't at all. Because Leo knows that he's the one wielding the power right now. He knows he's the one wielding the power right now, because if Brittany walks off, all he's going to do is take foot and go fast with Hannah. That's what he's going to do, and Brittany knows this. So Leo, being Leo, just comes off with some type of spiel like, you have told me that you have told me by saying what you said that I am your strongest connection. So then he gives her all his guff, all his validation that he normally does about how much he cares for her, and it's almost like, and then he skips off like making a decision. It's not about you in that sense, but if he does pick her or doesn't pick her, she will be the one that's hurt. And I'm just like, okay, where does Leo get off thinking that he has the power to hurt someone? But fair's fair. Within this type of decision, once you get emotionally invested, someone that will get hurt by any decision that he's made. I do think he will prick Brittany at the end of all of this, to be honest with you. But she still says to him, you know what, make a decision because I will be fine. At the end of the day, she just wants him to make a decision. For Hannah, the situation is kind of different, because she has someone waiting in the wings for her, and she's not betting all her eggs on Leo. And that's the only reason why Hannah called Nick D back, because she didn't want to be left out straggling in the wind if Leo decided to turn face and pick Brittany. So basically, you can see the point where Brittany is totally losing it, and she's basically saying that she doesn't want to stay in the room. She wants to get up and leave. And I'm kind of like, well, you're not going anywhere. And I'm just like, what? I just don't really understand why she just doesn't get up and just walk out of the room. The chat that this man is giving her, she knows he's absolute guff and he's just saving face, but yet she's going to sit there and keep taking it. So as time goes on, Brittany is getting more and more pissed by Leo and the way he's speaking to her. So Brittany decides that, you know what, let's forget about this. I'm done talking about this. All I want is a fun date. I'm sick to death of these decision-making dates. I want a fun date. What are you going to do about it? So she feels that making Leo have a decision right then and there is boxing him in a corner. But she says that Leo needs to make a decision once and for all, because he's pussyfooting around. Yeah, he's for the birds. That's what it is. He's pussyfooting around. He's for the birds. And Brittany's saying that she don't want to play this game no more. So Leo, decides that he's going to offer Brittany some advice. So he's telling her to wait that little bit longer because he says he needs to have another conversation with Hannah, and he promises to give her clarity after that conversation on the same night. So she says no because she wants a fun date. She doesn't want to have a night date where she's talking about this again. So she gives him an out and says basically she would prefer for him to sleep on it. So she wants their night date to be more fun. So he says that he has a plan for her and he has a surprise. I was just like, why did these women keep letting these men give them the bare minimum and think it's acceptable? Like, seriously, I don't get it. So Hannah and Leo then decide to have a talk. So he talks to her in regards to, like, if they were to get married, would she be happy with the prenup? And Hannah kind of gets it at the end of the day. And I thought, well, you haven't raised that scenario with Brittany. I'd like to see you do it because guaranteed she probably won't be accepting of it. So basically, Hannah talks about how she likes Leo the most. And she admires the fact that, you know, even though he's come from money, he isn't sitting on his ass just expecting everything to come for him, and basically he's working. So Hannah says for her externally that she has insecurities, her weight was an issue, and then which we all kind of do. And then she talked about the fact that her mom used to lock the cabinet so she couldn't snack, even though she found that hella hilarious, and she said the same thing to Nick within their date too, and they were both laughing about it. I found that fucking weird. I thought that's not normal, that your mum would have to go to lengths to lock the cupboard to stop you from getting in it, to stop you from actually getting food. Yeah, so she does tell Leo about her weight loss, her 40 pound weight loss. She tells Nick D the same thing as well. So then Leo's talking about the fact, well, I wouldn't mind if you came out there. I don't care what you look like. I won't mind if you came out there, even if you were 500 pound. And I see with Leo, sometimes when he starts a sentence that he doesn't know how to finish, he will just not finish his train of thought, and always the other person will consistently jump in. So Leo's full of shit. That's all I can say. Leo is full of shit. So here he goes again with that, I have so much strong feelings for you, and it's a big part. And basically he keeps saying, wait, if I say those magic words, like the I love you magic words, basically he said, if I said it to you, Hannah, and you said it back, then if he said it to the other person and they said it back, and again, he doesn't finish his sentence. He does not finish his sentence, because I can't take this man seriously, because I don't even think he knows what he's talking about either. So he basically says, then it will be serious, and I would have made my decision, because I am not going to tell nobody I love them unless I'm not getting down on one knee to tell them basically that I want to marry you, or to ask them that I want to marry you. This man chats some shit. This man chats some utter shit. And I don't understand how these people are not using their BS detector. Like, seriously, they're lapping it up like freaking cats to milk. It's ridiculous. And then she tells him that she would say yes to him, but says again, but I have a connection with someone else. And I'm like, why do these people keep doing that? Like, they ask you a question, like, if I said this to you, if I asked you to marry me, would you do it? And they said, yeah. But then in the next breath, remind them that you have a connection with somebody else, when you told the man already that you would be with them. How does that even make sense? Like, seriously, all I keep on thinking is birds of a feather will flock together, and Brittany, Hannah and Leo need to sort their shit out for real. So then you see Nick D and Hannah have a date. And so Nick D, because he's aware that Leo is dating Hannah, basically, he's very much aware of it. So he asks Hannah how her first date went. And Hannah just basically says, as she should, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to focus on us. So you see with the conversation with Nick D and Hannah, he opens up a little bit more to her and talks about the fact that, you know what, he did go through a spout of depression. And basically he says that he wants to do better financially. So Hannah asks him, like, if they got married, would he be okay financially, because it would take her a while to get a job. So basically Hannah's asking him, would you be able to keep the household afloat while I'm looking for a job, because right now I don't have a job, so I won't be able to be financially free in order to pay into the household. So I'm going to need you to do that for a while, yeah, while I'm actually getting my ass back into the workforce. I don't even think Nick really answered that question, and the financial thing does come up again at some point. So I believe Hannah should really have a sit down conversation with this dude when it comes to finances and see where exactly it is that he is. So Nick basically ends the date with, like, this is why, this conversation right here is why he's going to love her. At first, there was no reaction from Hannah except for yeah. And at first I thought, Nick, quick, while you are ahead, yeah, because I don't think Hannah really wants Nick at all. He was her backup plan. I think she's basically building herself up, or trying to open herself up to feel feelings for this man that she does not feel. But we'll see how it goes from there. So it goes back to the men's room, and Stephen is talking to the guys about how he didn't think he would have kids. So they're all gassing him up about how he's a great man, how he's this, how he's that. And then he says that if he marries this woman, as in Monica, then he will become a dad, basically. All I'm going to say is I really don't like Stephen. And Monica's leaving a good deal to be desired, like, in terms of how she vets men, like, completely. So you see Stephen say to the rest of the fact that he does love Monica. So you see Monica and Stephen have their date. So she tells him about the bear that she used to have from when she was 5 years old, called Rosie Jane, and she still does have it and sleep with it. I don't have an issue with grown people doing that, because I used to have, like, little bears or something that I would sleep with, and it's comforting in a way. It really is. Anyway, she says they talk about how they're being weird together, and Stephen basically says that if I'm yours, when we're out, feel free to treat me like a piece of meat. I was like, say what now? Huh? Medium rare, or well done? How do you want that to be? How do you want that to be done? Anyway, I would have thought in the home, yeah, no doubt, treating you like, you know, you're mine, you ain't going nowhere, let's have some fun. But when we're out and about, I really wouldn't want my partner to be, like, mauling me like I'm some piece of rotted day old meat. No. There's ways in which you conduct yourself. That's all I'm going to say. So Stephen basically akins it to feeling wanted. And I'm thinking, there's ways in which you can feel wanted and ways in which your partner can fulfill that need for you to feel wanted. You being treated like a piece of meat and you wanting to feel wanted, it's a sexual need, basically. You want your partner to be able to not to keep their hands off you, because you want to forever be, I suppose, attractive in their eyes, basically. But when it comes to normality, you ain't going to get that all the time. You ain't going to get your partner like, oh, I want to be all over you. Oh, God. You ain't going to get that all the time. Because sometimes they probably can't stand the freaking sight of you, and that's freaking normal at the end of the day. So they do tell each other that they love each other. Stephen literally appears shocked, because he has literally now got to a point where he's like, oh my God, I actually love this woman. And he's staring off into space. It's like whole mind, body, heart and soul literally came in sync when he realized that actually he does, like, you know, love Monica, and he loves someone without even seeing them. Hey. So it's meet-up time for Ashley A and Tyler. Ashley looks gorgeous, I ain't gonna lie, she looked gorgeous. When the doors opens, I don't know what type of look Ashley gave when she saw Tyler, but it didn't fill me with a good type of confidence. Yeah, it really didn't. But Tyler looked to be more involved with Ashley than Ashley was with him. Ashley became quite withdrawn. To me, she became quite withdrawn when I was watching it. And Tyler was just gabbing off, and he couldn't like stop touching her, he couldn't stop kissing her, and like, you know, telling her that she's gorgeous. It took her a while to say that he's handsome. At the end of the day, it really did take her a while. Man couldn't stop crying as well, and I don't have an issue with men crying at all. So I like it when men show emotion, so I weren't mad at it at all. But Ashley wasn't giving. I wasn't feeling it from her. I really was not feeling it from her. At that point, when she was talking to him, I kind of felt she was just giving it lip service. And I think she was just kind of thinking, how long do I still have to sit out here because I'm done? I really want to get back. Tyler, I say, was enough. He was going overboard, like proper overboard. I thought, is this man going to come up for air? Is this man literally going to be silent for a minute? But no, he kept going. So you see Hannah and Nick D having a date and chatting. So she pictured him to be superficial basically, and now that she understood him a little bit deeper and so much more, she wanted to own her own insecurities. So Nick D turned around and told Hannah that he's in love with her. So Hannah literally reciprocates and says it back to her and says, I feel the exact same way. I'm gonna say I didn't see that coming. I really did not see that coming in the slightest. The way in which she was gravitating towards Leo, I did not see Hannah going the other way towards Nick D. So Hannah and Nick D basically both said that they figured that shit out today. All I'm going to say is that this season with these people, it's just weird. To me, everyone is weird. Like, really weird. I don't know why I'm feeling this way this season with these people. But I'm in confused city with them. Like, seriously in confused city with them. You like will have to let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm just not getting the vibe from not on one of them, to be honest with you. Not like it was come last year when we got some good people in this. Yeah, I'm not feeling not on one vibe. Not on one vibe. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before when we had the Browns. And we had Bliss and Zach and the mature ones. Yeah, I'm not getting the vibe. Not getting the vibe. So basically now we see Leo and Brittany have their night date. So he starts off with his little surprise. So it's a blanket with him he's sprayed all his cologne on it. That's not even a surprise, my dude. Like, seriously. So of course Leo does end up spoiling the moment, because he turns around and he has to bring it back to Decision Gate. So he turns around and he asks Brittany what type of ring she would like. So Brittany, thinking savvy, didn't get, oh, that's sweet, that's so sweet. She does turn around and say, well, I will only tell you if you are asking for me and not the other person. So Leo said that he will say the same question to both of them. And I was like, nah, my dude, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm paraphrasing here. So Leo says, I will ask both of you or none of you. At this point, I would have said, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. Poke a fork in me, I'm done, I'm out. That's it, done. So Brittany asks him basically why both or none. It doesn't make any sense at all, and it doesn't. I mean, what a way to zap the fun out of the room, because it was meant to be a fun night date, but now he's just literally fucked it up. So Leo turns around and says that I'm split. And I am not getting that Leo got the instruction that Brittany just wanted to have fun in this date. Like, she didn't want to make it about decision talk, but as he's brought that up, it is very weird that you're asking one woman what type of ring she would like if he was to ask her to marry him, and then you're going to ask the same woman the same thing. What kind of game are you playing, Leo? Like, seriously, what kind of game are you playing? Because in the real world, you won't be able to do that shit. You get smacked around your jaw. Jesus. All I kept on thinking is this is the point where Hannah And Hannah and Brittany literally need to have a conversation about this man. Literally need to have a conversation in regards to the conversations that are happening with both of them and what he's saying, to be abreast of the situation, because this ain't normal. This shit is not normal. Leo, as again, is garbage. Like, is garbage. So Brittany seemed to be getting all kind of comfortable. She left his blanket like on the side and literally started covering herself up in hers. So I just thought, this girl is not going to leave. Like, she said she was going to leave, but she's not going to leave. She's still staying there, and she's staying there for a reason at the end of the day, because half of the things that this man said, I don't understand why you're still accepting the bullshit that he's giving you, the breadcrumbs that he's giving you at the end of the day. Someone needs to just stand on business and say, you know what, I'm done. That's it. If you can't make a decision, I don't want to be in this room with you no more. I'm out, basically. And I have to say, it's no wonder why Leo's still freaking single. Like, seriously. So Leo basically says to Brittany that he is a part of the experiment in him doing what he's doing, in speaking to someone else, and basically said that, I know that it's hard for you, Brittany, to hear. And I'm like, nah, man. Nah, my friend, this is where you're taking the piss. You are taking the piss. Yeah. Like, literally taking the piece. And Brittany still stayed there listening to the guff that was coming out of this man's mouth. And I was like, if you don't get up and get your scrawny ass out of that room, there's no saving you at this point, my love. So Leo goes on to describe the ring that he would choose for her. And Brittany is literally upset. You can hear she's despondent. She's not happy. But yet he's literally rolling over her feelings and her emotions, ignoring what the fuck is going on. But Brittany is literally sitting there allowing this man to talk to her about rings. This is just, it's just different. It's just different. So Brittany tells Leo this is where she's at. Basically, she cannot wrap her brain around how her future husband will be so torn between her and another person, where if the shoe was on the other foot, yeah, she wouldn't do it. She would not be that way. She would have already made her decision. And I have to agree with Brittany. Leo should have already made the choice, instead of waiting for so long about talking about he doesn't know who he wants. What are you there for? Like, this is why I say Leo was just there for the airtime. He went there to make no pics with nobody, seriously. He didn't want to go through this process at all. He just wanted his face on TV. That's how I'm seeing it, because I don't know how much fucking stress you want in your life that you want a drama-filled battle with two rotted women. Fuck that shit. Make my choice and gone. Do you know what I mean? So then Leo manages to make Brittany feel shitty for how she's feeling at the moment by saying this will be an issue if they got married, as, you know, he kind of felt how he made her feel now is she'll take that into the marriage, and each time she thinks back on this, she'll continually blame him. I mean, I wouldn't even trust a man enough to freaking get married to the dude, let alone get to an altar with him. Like, seriously. So Brittany asks Leo, so tomorrow what happens? Like, remember, Brittany's told Leo, you need to have a decision come tomorrow. I need to know what your decision is. My man says, I have no fucking idea. I was like, my guy. So Brittany is at this point, yeah, decides that she is going to leave the room. So Leo goes back into the room, finds out that Hannah is now with Nick D because Stephen told him that. So after his rose-tinted explanation that he gave them about Brittany and the situation there, Leo basically wanted to say, is it fair of me to ask why Hannah reopened that reconnection? I was like, no, mate, it's none of your ass business. At the end of the day, you're doing your do thing with Brittany. Hannah can do what the fuck she's like. She's a grown-ass woman. So now, Leo is getting a little bit of a taste of his own medicine, and I love it for him. I really do. I do. So Hannah basically turns around and gives the biggest news to Brittany, which she loves. And Hannah basically says to the girls that she is breaking up with Leo and said that Nick D is her man. And I was like, thank God for that, because she needed to get the shit hell out of Dodge with that man. All I know is it must suck for Brittany at the end of the day, because she will never know now whether Leo intended to pick her, yeah, or would he have picked Hannah. So back in the men's quarters, Leo was asked, who do you feel is your person and who do you want to pick? Leo says Hannah. I said, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. So Garrett does give him sage advice and says to Leo, if I were you, I would figure it out tonight. Too damn late for that, buddy. Too damn late for that, buddy. And all I'm saying is Hannah needs to follow through now. Like, seriously needs to follow through on what she was going to do and end it with this man. So we see Hannah and Leo. So Hannah does turn around and tell Leo that she loves Nick D and that she has a strong connection with someone else. And basically she wants Nick D and she doesn't want him. She wants someone who will commit to her, and Nick D did this. Now Leo, on hearing this, didn't contritely say, do you know what, maybe it's for the best because I couldn't make a decision, or be a man about it, yeah, and let her have what it is that she wants. Oh, no. Leo did not do that. He did not do that. Leo became the most gaslightiest, the most emotional, manipulative person I'd ever seen before in my life. And I was watching it play out, and the fact that you had this man literally verbally harassing this woman to the point of literal tears. Hannah literally broke down with the shit that Leo was saying, all because Leo didn't want to lose this little trio of drama that he had. Leo wanted to be the center of attention, and Leo felt that Hannah should not be the one to walk away from him. That's what it boiled down to. You should not be the one to walk away from me at all. I haven't given you that control and power to walk away from me. I will tell you when you can go. That's what Leo was doing in this whole scenario. And I'm thinking to myself, right, you as producers, you are sitting there watching how this man is systematically breaking down this woman emotionally, and not one person stepped in to say, do you know what, enough's enough. Stop, leave it, let it go. He literally broke that woman. He broke her down to the point where she didn't know whether left was right, left was left, right was right, up was up, down was down. She didn't know shit. All she did was cry her freaking heart out on that chair, and nobody came to her aid. Nobody on the production staff came to her aid to say, do you know what, Leo, I think that's enough. Because that's what they should have done. And that's why I'm saying sometimes with these reality shows, I don't know where they get off. There's a thin line when it comes to stepping in the realms of abuse, and that's what Leo was doing. His behavior was disgusting, like absolutely freaking disgusting, and the way he was applying pressure onto that poor girl was out of this freaking world. I swear to God, if I could have reached through the screen, I would have punched that man in his jaw, like seriously. But anyway, that's where that episode ended. So we'll have to see what happens in the next episode. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm going to do videos. Please comment, like, share, and do the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1K. Peace out, my people.